Good evening. My name is Mark Chaika, and I represent MD Volt, Inc., a Maryland nonprofit organization comprised of 76 members who promote electric vehicles and electric vehicle charging stations through education and awareness. In fact, we have 2 electric car meetups this Saturday, one at the Mosaic District in Fairfax, Virginia, and the other in Timonium, Maryland. When I heard about EV Taxicabs' proposal to Arlington County and their plan to install a number of quick charge stations, I just had to be here tonight to support them. This project will reach beyond a cab service into the community and provide charging station infrastructure to our members who commute to DC and live in this area. I was very excited to see that EV Taxicab was rated the highest of all applicants at the County Board Meeting on November 17th. The facts and analysis in this report cannot be overlooked. A single electric vehicle test by any one of the county's supported cab companies cannot compare to a fleet of EVs with the proper infrastructure and applications to manage the process. The views of the Transportation Commission in the letter dated November 13th substantiate this point. Electric cars can work, as is evident from the many plug-ins on the road today. As some of you might be aware, the 2013 Motor Trend Car of the Year is the all-electric Tesla Model S sedan developed by visionary leader Elon Musk with the proper hardware and software in place. As EV Taxicabs proposes, EVs can succeed as a platform for a taxicab fleet. I know some people are still afraid of this new technology. It can be disruptive in some respects, and there are challenges ahead. I encourage you to face the challenges and be innovators when making your decision about the awarding of new certificates. Arlington County could transform itself into the region's EV hub by supporting EV Taxicabs, making it a model for the rest of the country. Every ride in an EV taxicab will introduce the benefits of electric drive to a whole new group of people. Thank you for your time, and we hope you move forward with this project. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Laney Hartman, and I'm a member of the Electric Vehicle Association of Greater Washington, D.C., and I also own and drive an electric car. And I want to speak in support of EV taxicabs, specifically their plan to install charging stations in the county. I used to live in Arlington. I live in Howard County, Maryland now. But the EV charging infrastructure will make it easier for people like me to travel and to visit and do business in Arlington County, which is important. So I support the proposal of EV taxicabs, and I look forward to coming to Arlington County and charging my car. Thank you.
Hello, thank you, Board. I'm Eric Cardwell, and I'm actually coming before you as a resident of Arlington. I moved here in July. I love it. It's great. But most of all, I am a pedestrian. I haven't had a car in 4 years, and I actually really enjoy that. I have access to Capital Bike Share, which I enjoy. I ride the Metro, and I have Zipcar. But now, with EV taxicabs, I know that I can, go out of my way to actually get an electric car, and no oil will be used in my transportation from wherever I need to go, which really makes me happy to be able to do that. And I hope that you guys see that that actually happens so that we can be a leader in the United States and be the first one so we don't have to follow somebody else. They can follow us. And I hope you all follow through with that. And again, I'm also an electrical engineer, and I know that now is the time. There's none of this, it's not right. It is now. We can do this. So thank you very much. Have a good night.
Hello, I'm Joseph Lato. I'm a 24-year resident of Arlington County. I'm also a member of the Electric Vehicle Association of Washington, D.C., and a Chevy Volt owner for the last 2 years. I'm here in support of EV Taxicab. I know that it's something that you'll probably have a little bit of anxiety before doing, but electric taxicabs are nothing new. Electric taxicabs were used in the 1900s, and they became very, very famous for having been the only vehicles that could actually operate in the Great Knickerbocker snowstorm in New York City. And there was front page news in the New York Times that the electric vehicles were able to move around. The technology that was used way back then was just a little bit off of having horse-drawn carriages. today, the technology that we have is phenomenal and robust and very, very effective. And if you are an EV owner, and I've been an EV owner for about 9 years, my first vehicle was a converted vehicle. It's a Fiero that had solar panels in yellow, and I used to drive it all around Arlington County. It had about 45-mile range. And to give you guys perspective, with 45 miles range, I could go all the way to Bethesda and back on a single charge. I could go to Dulles Airport and back. However, with the new vehicles having a 100-mile range, you can think about going twice the distance beyond Baltimore, and you can go way beyond Dulles Airport and back. And the charges are there. The new technology basically covers it. So, thank you.
Question for the speaker, Madam Chair. Mr. Ladder.
Mr. Latta, come on back just for a second.
Thank you, sir. Just a couple questions, please. How long have you had your Volt?
I've had it for 2 years.
2 years. And what's the distance it can travel in one charge?
It travels about 40 miles. I can go all the way to Baltimore, and then I have to use gasoline. Volt has the range extender on it.
And when you've gone to Dulles Airport and back, is it in the same car?
It's the same car.
The same?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, Board. My name is Mel Shea. I actually live right down the street at 1800 Wilson Boulevard, and I've been there since 2007. I've been an electric vehicle owner for over 2 years, about 2.5 years now. I've put just under 20,000 miles on the vehicle. I've never run out of, been stranded. And people ask me, well, what do you do about range anxiety? And I say, well, if you know how to use Google Maps, then you don't have to worry about range anxiety, basically. So I think, from my perspective, I think having electric cabs will be a very good idea for Arlington County. I think it'll send the message that Arlington County is a very clean place to live. It's a very attractive place to live, a very prosperous place. And I just want to point out from the slides that you showed the different cities around the world that actually have electric cabs. When I got my car 2.5 years ago, my parents, they do a lot of traveling to Asia. And then when they came back from one of their trips, I told them, hey, I got this great car. It doesn't use any gasoline. It runs on electricity. And their reaction was, so? So they had actually taken electric cabs when they were in Taiwan, and so they weren't that impressed. But I think if range is the biggest trepidation that you have, I think that's something that the business people will handle. I imagine they don't want to leave passengers stranded, and obviously they won't stay in business very long if they do that. So I think. Like I said, I think it'll be a very good idea for Arlington County. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you today as a driver in an electric car who drives over 70 miles a day. And in 54 weeks of driving over 20,000 miles, I've never once needed more than the recommended maintenance schedule of a simple tire rotation. Indeed, I drove 48.4 miles just to get here this evening and have 22 miles more to get home, and I'm not worried. In my submitted comments, I've already outlined why EV taxicabs should get their requested allotment of 40 cabs. However, I wanted to outline personally some things that I did not cover there. Clearly, my driving 70 miles is not even the full capacity of my Leaf. And I know not a single reasonable charge will give me 200 miles. Yet, even 2 uses of CHAdeMO, the fast charging system, in one day is now seen by Nissan is quite safe for my battery pack. Contrary to statements made by the company earlier in the car's run. Nissan can attest to this based on hundreds of thousands of miles and nearly 2 years of driving experience. Keep in mind also that my 70 miles are mostly highway miles, and whereas taxis usually drive in local roads at optimal speeds for an EV. It's for this reason that I could see it conceivable that maybe even just one CHAdeMO charge might be sufficient per day, but as I said, 2 would be okay. And again, remember, I live in Herndon, next to the airport, and I drive all the way to Southeast DC every day, right through and beyond Arlington, on a daily basis, without recharge, at 70% highway speeds, there and back again. Keep in mind, too, that with CHAdeMO comes business. And as I pointed out, not only just me, but many EV drivers will consider fast charging a tourist attraction for years to come. It will be a cause for many EV gatherings, I guarantee you. And I think it will be a great opportunity for the county to go in this direction. I will summarize just to say thank you to the county for all you've done, and I say that we don't need any more hybrid taxis. Electric driving in Northern Virginia works. I'm living proof.
Good evening. I'm Dave Goldstein. I'm the President Emeritus of the Electric Vehicle Association of Washington, D.C., Greater Washington, D.C., and I speak on behalf of the County Administrator's recommendations for 40 electric taxicabs for EV Taxicab. I think we've heard the argument over and over again tonight in various forms that it won't work here. Electric vehicles don't work. They don't have the range. They don't have the performance. The batteries don't last. We've heard this over and over and over again, but a quick web survey reveals that really quite otherwise. That is that e-taxis are operating successfully in major metropolitan areas throughout the world. We've heard mention of some of those already, from Atlanta to Amsterdam, Barcelona to Beijing, Portland, Oregon to Mexico City, Kanagawa Prefecture and Yokohama City near Tokyo, Shenzhen, China, Sao Paulo, Brazil, London, Munich, Dublin, Dubai, Tartu, Estonia, proposals in New York City, San Francisco, and Hong Kong. All of these things have one thing in common, and that is electric vehicles work. And that's the one thing we want to get across here. The evidence is clear. Electric taxis can operate over a wide range of conditions and climates, and that Arlington County's proposal is innovative, but it is not entirely unique. It does exist, it has been shown to exist and work properly. What is unique here is that this proposal offers the first compelling business case for a small fleet of electric taxis to succeed in less than 1 year, and with it to offer a degree of comfort, innovation, and high-tech service that is completely unprecedented. That includes Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, laptops, cabulous, and so forth. None of this will happen without the controversy we've been hearing, and it cannot be viewed through the lens filter of traditional, everyday gasoline-based taxicab operations. It will require different dispatching strategies and a degree of infrastructure support that has been carefully planned and considered by EV Taxicab. Now, suddenly, have you noticed everyone is trying to catch up with EV Taxicab? I say, way to go, Arlington. Keep up the great work. Please move forward. You're on the cusp of something great here, and the whole world is watching. Thank you.
I'm going to make 3 points, and I'm going to make it quickly. I'm not going to take 5 minutes. First of all, go with your staff. They're right. I mean, they did a good job of scoring people. They did a good study, and they're right. The electric vehicle is what you should be doing, and I speak as someone who owns one. I'm going to make a point here. A week ago, a draft of the Arlington Community Energy Plan was released. On page 4, the statement referred to Arlington's history of energy and environmental leadership. Those photos you're looking at are what I took in Trondheim, Norway. You can add that to the long list of cities that already are doing it. I was surprised to see that in front of the Trondheim train station. I had no idea that I'd actually be presenting here, but they're all over. I suspect you heard these are the cities that have already been mentioned are just the ones you can find on the internet. I suspect they're worldwide. There are hundreds of cities doing it. Trondheim is only 150,000 people, and you wouldn't know about it. No one would know about it except I happen to be there. The electric taxicab will work. Almost everyone who is speaking against electric vehicles, in fact, everyone who's speaking against electric vehicles, isn't familiar with them. They work very well. They are surprisingly efficient. And I would challenge anyone, I think no one here who has spoken against it has actually owned one. Getting back to the point here, you have an energy plan, Mr. Fazette. You worked on that for a long time. This is your opportunity. On page 14, there's a goal number 4 is to reduce the amount of carbon produced by transportation. What is this? This is exactly that. These vehicles will reduce enormously the amount of carbon that goes into the atmosphere from transportation. This is just a perfect opportunity for Arlington to show the leadership they've stated that they already do and reduce the carbon from the taxis. It really is time for Arlington to walk the talk, because you're not going to get an opportunity like this. You have a private company who's going to pay for it all. They're going to install the infrastructure, which everyone else can use. I mean, this is a gift. Take it. And that's...
Gentlemen.
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Deneen.